Hello, everyone. Welcome to Popcast on the Rocks, episode 110. Welcome back. We're a podcast that talks about pop culture things, and sometimes there's whiskey. My name is John, and I am joined, as always, by Andrea. How's it going?
Good. It's been a good weekend and a good start to the week so far. It's only Monday, so we'll see.
Time will tell, yes.
Yes.
I just realized you're wearing like new earbuds or something.
I am. You guys, I finally caught up to the culture of today and bought wireless earphones.
They look like Samsung ones or something?
No, they're just like some cheap knockoff random brand. But since we're talking about an Amazon show tonight, they had good reviews on Amazon. So I said, what the hey? And I bought them.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, the freedom, right?
I know. There's no cords. What do I do? What do I do with my hands? Car run real good today. If you know, you know.
Yeah. It's no, I use earbuds all the time. Just phone call. I don't want to be bothered with the wire. Leave the phone on the counter, walk around.
Yes.
Whatever. So
even though I not to make fun of myself too much, I have had wireless headphones before. And the thing that was wrong with them is I didn't really still have a good range when I walked away from my phone. Like I could definitely tell, even if I was just getting into the next room, it'd start getting glitchy, and I was like, okay, this is ridiculous.
Yep.
So.
Yep, things have improved, that's for sure.
Yes, they have.
Well, we're not a tech podcast. Another one some other time maybe, but
you couldn't tell by all my technical review of my earphones. There's some knockoff brand thingy. Oh, look at my free hands.
Hey, you're techified. You're techified.
I'm techified. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Stamp it on my forehead. Techified.
So we this week we managed to get to a new show. Began watching The Boys season 3, amongst
a new old
other
show.
things. The new old show, yeah.
It's not. It's not
a
brand
series
new
premiere, right?
Yeah.
New season. So season 3 has dropped. I don't know how many episodes, but there are. Maybe it's all out now. I don't know. I don't follow how everybody does that, but we've seen episodes 1 and 2. So in the latter half of the episode, we're going to be discussing that. Alan says 1 through 6 are currently available.
Yep.
So thank you, Alan. Before that, however, we have news. We'll catch you up on our weeks. And we have drink holidays.
Indeed, we do. Being that today is the 27th, I'll switch up my usual routine and go for today's drink holiday first before I tell you about drink holidays of old. Today, it is National Pineapple Day. So, I am having a pineapple margarita.
Oh, nice. All
yeah.
Right. That's a lovely color there.
I know. I dig it. It's very beautiful. And it's in a fancy glass with a fancy garnish. I'm fancy. I'm techified and fancy.
Fancified.
Those are my words for today. Fancified. I like it. So cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Delicious. And then ye old drink holidays of old. So we have on June 21st, it was World Lambrusco Day, which if you don't know is a type of wine. And on June 25th, a mere 2 days ago, it was International Rosé Day.
Nice.
So also a wine holiday.
Any Snoop Dogg rosé anymore?
Rosé all day. Did you try that? Is that good?
It's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Recommended.
I've seen the bottles and I'm like, I've been like right here on buying it, and then I didn't. So I'll try.
No, it's very drinkable, light, refreshing. What you'd want when you're open to rosé. So.
Right. Exactly.
Yep. Very cool. Yeah, I was just thinking as you were like taking a sip of your drink, saying it's very good. Just thinking, we should have these things where maybe once in a while we have our partner make us a cocktail based on the holidays, and we don't get to try it, before we're on air. So
I love
if it's trash, they get the live reaction.
Yes. So. No, I love it. We're definitely going to do that.
Okay. I don't know how gung ho Ashley will be about it, but
okay. I'll try to pick let you know about a week where there's like some good solid holiday, because sometimes there's like weird holidays where it's like, oh, it's like Uzo Day. And you're like, well, what am I going to do with that? I don't know. I don't have Uzo just like lying around. Yeah. So, yeah.
Cool.
Not to get down, but it's just not something you generally have in your household bar.
You don't? What? Andrea, slack it.
Don't even play with me.
Yeah.
I'll make Ashley text me with your stock in your bar.
Yeah. That'd be a long text. Yeah. I'm celebrating Pineapple Day as well. Mine is not nearly as fancified. That's for sure.
Fancified. Word of the night.
I'm calling mine the Deep. Because it is not actually particularly deep or complex. It's actually quite simple.
I love it. A drink rich with metaphor.
Yeah. And it's got it's pineapple, and then the alcohol is rum. I just feel like the ocean goes well with the tropics, so that would be the kind of thing you drink. So it's just rum, pineapple juice, and some Sierra Mist.
Sure.
So
very simple, clean, classic. Yeah. See, I had like actual, classic, but I had actual like slices of pineapple. So I was like, unfortunately, I could press them to make pineapple juice, but I could also blend them.
Yeah. I thought if I had more time, if I hadn't been distracted, I thought about doing a blended thing as well.
Solid.
Fit along with that, again, tropics kind of thing.
See, now we're giving our audience options, new things to think about. Plus, I love your drink because the segments of the Deep thus far have been one of my favorite parts of The Boys season 3. Yeah. They're absolutely ridiculous and perfect.
Alan shared with us in our chat the GIF of PPAP. Apple pineapple pen guy. Yes. So to throw back to that, if you all remember the sensation for a moment.
Yes. Oh my God.
I'm sure Ashley's told you before, but if you didn't remember, and if our audience don't remember, we were definitely, us and Alan and Dustin definitely went to the Pineapple Pen restaurant.
You did. I do recall this.
And they just play that song on repeat.
How long did you stay?
Till Ashley finished her dessert.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Not too long, but yeah.
But enough time to be like, we stayed.
Mm-hmm. We heard the song a multitude of times.
We bore through. Yeah.
Yes. It was fun. So, all right. Well, good drinks. Our weeks. I think it's been exactly a week now since our last episode.
Yeah, I think so.
Exactly about. Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, it would be a week because it was my anniversary, so I should remember that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Perfect. Well, did you manage to do anything awesome this last week?
I did do something awesome. So I spent the weekend up at a friend's cabin. Everett took her first boat ride, so that was very fun for her. She loves the water. Yeah, went swimming. It was a beautiful weekend to be outside. One of the few that Minnesota might give us. So glad to be out of doors. As far as like entertainment-y things, I also did a big thing in which Chris and I went to the cinema to see Top Gun Maverick, which we'd been wanting to see.
So, no spoilers, but like positive, negative?
No spoilers, definitely positive. I will, again, non-spoilery, it leans very heavily on nostalgia. I would say 90% of the time it works, and there's maybe like one or two moments where you're like, all right, I get it. Like, it's you can dial it back now, and they usually do. and give you something new. But yeah, there was like one or two where I was like, okay. But overall, excellently made film. Yeah, highly recommend going to see it. It is, I think, one of those that is better in the theater, but if you watch it at home, it's not like, damn you, I missed it in the theater. I can't believe I missed my chance to see it on the big screen. You'll be disappointed for sure. It's definitely better on the big screen, but I just don't think like it'll be one of the great regrets of your life if you don't.
Well, yeah, that would be.
I mean,
it's the state of my life. If that's
right. These are your regrets. I mean, I don't know if that says something good or bad, but
yeah.
That your regrets might be so few that this is one of them. But yeah, I think there are certain movies that you just like feel on a big screen, and this was, like I said, certainly better, but I just don't think like it would be crushing to miss it on the big screen. So, but yes, very good movie, well done.
Nice.
Of course, I've watched The Boys episodes 1 and 2. I watched the Netflix produced documentary Halftime, which was about Jennifer Lopez's like creation of her Super Bowl halftime show. And among the many other things that were kind of like surprising and included in that film, it was just really cool to watch a performer and see their process in putting together that type of show. You know what I mean? Just like getting all the backstage ins of like, we have to decide a concept. How many minutes do we get? Like, what are we going to do? What songs out of my catalog am I going to pull? Like, what do I want to wear? Yeah, just everything about it was so interesting. And it was like being made around the same time that she was getting all that attention for Hustlers and kind of like the award season, like speculation that was happening around that. So that was just like a really interesting dynamic time for her. So it was just kind of cool to see all that come together and kind of see a different side to Jennifer Lopez.
Sure.
So very interesting. I mean, if you got an hour and a half, I would check it out. It's pretty good.
All the content out there that there's a good chance you've never heard of.
Still
new and like just didn't know that existed.
Yeah, it was very one of those, like, I caught somebody saying something about it, in a review of something else. It was just like, "Oh, I had no idea this was out there." Like, yeah, I could put this on, like, in the background, kinda check out what happens for, like, a Super Bowl halftime show, and then it ended up being much more interesting than I thought it was. So, it's cool.
Nice.
And then another epic moment in my week, I have finally finished Robert Jordan's dragging out epic of a 10th novel in the Wheel of Time series, Crossroads of Twilight. I have finished it. It is done. I can move on to Knife of Dreams. Yay for me. Thank you. I am very, very proud of this. It took me forever.
Wait, Knife of Dreams?
Knife of Dreams. Yep.
So that's the next one?
That's the next one. That is 11 out of 14. Okay. I am inching closer to the end.
Okay, 14 now. So I was wondering how far this landmark completion was in the process.
All right. So I am 10 out of 14 done, moving on to 11. I talked to Phil, who has moved on. He just finished book 12. And he was like, once you get through like the first couple of chapters in Knife of Dreams, it like flies and it really starts to go. So I was like, great. Okay. I am nearing the end of the boring middle parts. So
yeah, it's one of those things for sure. It's tough to not all that long ago. I feel like a person's tolerance is pretty high sometimes for being willing to slog through, something that you like, but it's just not gripping you in the moment, or it's just a little arduous, whether that's a book or a game. And and now that's harder to do because it's just like I don't need to do that. Like I can move on to a million umpteenth other things and
that I also like. It's not even like there are choices out there where you're like, I guess I could try this. I don't know. It's like, no, I know I like these things and the
Yep.
content is there. So what am
Hmm.
I wasting my time for?
So good job sticking through.
Thank you. Thank you. It was tough, but yeah, I just decided like now was the moment. I need to do it and get it done with.
Hmm. Nice. Well, I'm like picking back up on a thing that I was consuming before as well.
Awesome.
Um,
What's that?
Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
So it's pretty popular now. Yeah, it's long running,
Mhm.
and it's a single creator, and it's had different hiatuses along the way or whatever. And it just kind of came back into my mind recently because the creator basically is too sick to finish it,
Oh,
and so he is like giving notes and talking to certain people to have like the most trusted people possible to try to
sure.
finish out his work,
Sure.
because he's just not gonna make it. So that's pretty sad, but it's great that he's managed to accomplish this, have this thing that's going for so long that people still
Mhm.
love, still very relevant. So you can go into stores and find Hunter x Hunter merchandise and things now.
Mhm.
And I fell off because, um, again, with that like lower tolerance kind of thing,
Mhm.
I just got to some moments where I felt characters' motivations, and then some events that some character motivations weren't necessarily as grounded anymore as I thought they were. And then there was a couple things that happened that were just too convenient to move
Sure.
things forward in the way they wanted. And so I was like, I don't know about this. But I stopped at the perfect time then, basically, because the next episode was a recap episode. So
Okay.
it's like, so
Great.
yeah.
Catch me up and let's go.
Hmm. So yeah, having fun getting back into that. And
Good.
then I started an anime from 1985 called Dirty Pair.
Okay, I saw this and was like, "How did you find this and why were you like this 85 anime?
Sure.
This is what
Yeah.
I need to watch."
So I've seen this one around for a long time. I feel like it
Okay.
was kind of, um, it's not as obscure as maybe as it seems or whatever.
Sure.
I feel like this is a known one, so I've always seen it, but I'm normally not super. I have not been super invested in going back to older anime past, what I grew up with, basically.
Sure.
Normally it's like that's my starting point. What I grew up with, earliest stuff I saw then, that's
Mhm.
as far back as I go. And with all how much new anime there is all the time, it gives me even less reason to go back. But it started that Ashley and I watch a lot of anime together, and we like a lot of the same kinds of shows.
Mhm.
So I want to have something that when she's doing something else, whatever, I can watch something and not be a
Sure.
thing that, hey, I wanted to watch that too. But she
Mhm.
doesn't like the older art style. Basically, anything like early 90s, even and earlier, is
Okay.
just not her thing. She just way prefers the more modern stuff now. So
Sure.
it's not really interested. And so I gave this a shot. Cyberpunk. It was also inspired by watching Angel's Egg the other day. It's like, oh, that was an older thing. It's like just
Mhm.
getting something really different again. And yeah, it follows around these two women that publicly are called the Dirty Pair, though they hate being called that. They're
Mhm.
the agency they work for and themselves. They call themselves like the Lovely Angels, but that's not stuck with the population.
Sure.
Um, it's So every time someone calls them, "Oh, it's a dirty pair," stop calling us that. I think it's because they are kind of like cops, and when they do anything, there's a lot of collateral damage. They're
Sure.
just very dirty on the job. It's
Sure. Messy.
messy, yeah. So, and there's two of them. So,
This
uh,
this like
good.
weirdly reminds me of our conversation pre-show when we were talking about once something gets out in the public a certain
Oh
way,
yeah.
it sticks. It's like the GIF and GIF debate.
Hmm.
like it's GIF now because that's how the public says it. And even if the creator was like, no, don't call it that, call it a GIF, like it's too late now. Yeah. Everybody says it this way. Absolutely. So it's very weird that that's mirroring the conversation we had. Sorry to derail that.
No, that's it. Francesco is in the chat. Welcome.
Well, hello.
Calling out your name as being a Latin name. I mean, we do say Andrea a lot.
Yes. My old college advisor did, since he was from Venezuela. So very used to that.
I finished Spy Family now, the first season or whatever. So it was 12 episodes. Didn't really seem like a finale. It was kind of odd. I guess it's maybe it's picking up again this year yet. So maybe technically this is mid-season.
A mid-season. Sure.
So we'll see how they decide to number that.
Sure. That would make sense. I mean, I feel like usually, I mean, not always, but I feel like a lot of anime that I watch is either, if it's a shorter season, it's 13 episodes, or it's like a full 24 to 26. Yeah.
So that was solid all the way through.
Awesome.
Then I watched The Boys, as we're going to talk about later, and the first episode of Stranger Things. Yes. So got started on that.
One of us.
Yeah. Let's see. Francesco's from Argentina.
Oh, very cool.
So nice.
My name is very common, apparently.
Yeah. How does that make you feel? I mean, like, I have a common name, but I don't know that many Johns.
Sure,
I don't know a single another Andrea.
I know one, and she was called Drea, so it was very easy to distinguish between us. She didn't use her full name. So yeah, so it's actually, I would say probably less popular across the US.
Yeah.
But be kind of nice. I always thought my name was, pretty different growing up, and I wasn't sure whether or not that I liked it. I threatened several times to change my name, but I never really had anything I was going to change it to. It was just more like I was going to change my name. And then,
Sasha.
Now. Sasha. Well, yeah, as a grown-up. As a grown-up, I thought of that. But I never really followed through, obviously, on that threat. And I had nothing that I wanted to change it to. And now I'm very happy with it.
I guess the last thing I did that is not media related was my first Taekwondo tournament.
Yes. Saw the pictures.
Yeah.
How'd you do? I saw medals, so I'm assuming good.
Yeah, I mean, I competed in 3 events and I got a medal in each event.
Nice. What were your events?
So I got second place in in board breaking. I got second place in my pattern and first place in weapons pattern.
Hey, nice. So, good job.
Yeah, it was a fun experience. It was their first they're calling it their first annual Taekwondo tournament invitational. So they're planning to have more. The instructor that set it up was he actually studied with my instructor. So
okay.
Yeah, it was
so friendly rivalry, just friends.
Well, if my instructor had gone, he was supposed to spar. I mean, he said he would beat him for sure. So,
ooh,
but he wasn't able to go. Very sadly.
What?
So, yeah.
Mysteriously wasn't able to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah, I kid.
So yeah,
but it gives you a reason to look forward to next year.
Yep. Absolutely. So that's about it. It's been our weeks.
Busy.
Francesco, by the way, likes the name Andrea way better than Sasha.
Oh,
so for the record.
So good thing I stuck with it. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll kick things off with some sad news. This came out the other week. It's crazy how young and with without warning, this kind of thing would happen. But the voice actor, very popular voice actor in anime and video games, Billy Comets, died from colon cancer at the age of 35. You don't anticipate that because you're not even going in for a colonoscopy at that point,
Right.
So it would just really shock you, and pretty terrible. So
yeah, it and unfortunately, when I first read it, reminded me very much of Chadwick Boseman when we were all just like out of the blue, just struck with the knowledge that he had passed away. It was just, such a sad, tragic thing to happen to someone so young. And same situation here, just awful.
Yep. It's just always, obviously all of them are bad, but it's just worse when you don't have a star that's like they were drinking and driving, or they OD'd, or like there's nothing they could do about it, So, but Billy Kametz, I don't know how to say his last name, honestly, but he was in Attack on Titan. He was in Fire Emblem Warriors game. See some other things: Pokemon, Seven Deadly Sins, The Way of the House Husband, Beastars, High Rise Invasion.
Looks like he was in Promare. Isn't that what
you? Or Promare? I mean, I say Promare. I don't know which it is for sure, but
whichever way you pronounce it. You had seen that, correct?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I didn't know he was in it either. But it's like it's hard because you go down. There's so many things. I'm scrolling down a list. I'm only to 2019 yet. Vinland Saga, and then like
JoJo's
Mario
Bizarre
and Sonic.
Adventure.
Yep. Yeah. So video games as well.
Persona 5.
Demon Slayer. Yeah. Who was he in Persona 5?
Shoot. Sorry, it just listed the title. It didn't say who he was.
Yeah, Promare. Cells at Work. He's White Blood Cell.
Yeah, I remember you liked that one too.
It was fun.
That's on my list.
So, a lot of credits to his name. Very sad. So, thoughts with the family there. So
yeah.
In less sad news, way less sad news, but sticking on the anime kind of frontier, Trigun. We were mentioning kind of classic anime, a little bit older anime earlier, and Trigun it's not that old, but it's, I think, came here stateside very early 2000s. Actually came out late 90s originally. And it's a great show. It's a lot of fun. It's one where, again, it's a little zany, but then there's a little more depth to the characters and stuff as you go along.
Sure.
Have you seen it?
I haven't.
No? Okay. It's a...
Give me like an analog. What would be a show kind of like it?
Well, I'll say it's like a almost steampunk twist on the like Clint Eastwood spaghetti western if it was done from the perspective of a Japanese person.
Okay.
With more humor. That's how I would kind of describe it.
Okay.
As far as like an anime analog, I don't know. It's the same kind of era of art that you get from something like Outlaw Star or Inuyasha or something like that.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's got a fun, crazy opening. It was, I think, a pretty big hit when it came stateside, and they put it on Adult Swim and stuff like that or whatever. And the news of it now is, anyways, they're going to be rebooting this, I guess. So,
Trigun Stampede.
Yes,
that's a title.
Yes, well, his name is Vash the Stampede.
Okay.
So, That's what that's where that comes from.
Okay.
But I don't know. So it's saying 25 years after the first anime series, Trigun will be reborn in 2023. I think there was a manga I thought that was maybe titled Trigun Stampede. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but oh yeah, here during this it says Trigun was hugely popular, fitting in nicely with the space western aesthetics of Cowboy Bebop and All Star.
There you go.
Serving as an early example of a good English dub. That's courtesy of The Verge. So I don't know.
I did appreciate the opening of that Verge article. I'm confused. I'm playing Final Fantasy VII, and my partner is playing Resident Evil 4. My ears perk up as I hear the familiar and unmistakable heavy metal guitar chords as Trigun appears on the TV. I have no idea what year it is. I love it.
It's true. Yeah, what's old is new again, I guess.
That's right.
It's still one of those things that it just doesn't need a reboot. You know, at first when I saw this, it's like, okay, is it going to be a sequel or something, which it also doesn't need. But yeah, it makes me fearful of all the other things that they're gonna eventually try to reboot.
Well, it says reboot, and then it says so the official tweet says Trigun will be reborn.
Yeah.
So does that mean it's a reboot, or does that mean?
I mean that's
a very like definitive word choice, though.
Yeah.
Reborn doesn't necessarily, to me, signal reboot. Because it's very easy to just like switch the R and the N to an O and a T and say reboot. I mean, you're like 2/3 of the way there in your first 4-letter choices.
So the official website, Timeless Classic Trigun will be born again beyond the time of 25 years. Trigun Stampede, an original new anime adaptation, will be decided in 2023.
So we're not like totally rebooting this. This is going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it would be a little different. It will certainly look different.
Be interesting to find out, like, if you said that there was a manga that had this title, and like if you could track that down and what that was about. If that was going to be kind of a source material, or if they're just like, cool, we want to borrow that title and then do our own thing.
Yeah, because they are saying based on the classic anime, not based on something else,
Right.
So I don't know, we'll see. I'll wait to see what a trailer looks like. But yeah, ultimately right now I would just recommend everybody, if you're into anime, go ahead and check out the original. I think you'll enjoy it.
I will do that. I'll let you know what I think.
All right. You found this story. Saw this floating around. Moving away from anime, but
not away from crazy.
Not away from crazy, and not away from animated origins.
Yes. So not this past week, but the week before, there was kind of a big little announcement because not a lot of fuss was made about it. But we got the news that a Joker sequel is coming from director Todd Phillips, who's returning, and as is Joaquin Phoenix to play the titular role. And the movie is rumored to be called Joker 2, Folie à Deux. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. But the bigger news is that it's going to be a freaking musical. And this is like very serious. It's not a joke. It's going to be a musical. Or is it? I mean, this could be like something they're putting one over on us. I don't know. But so far, I'm going to take it at face value. It's going to be a musical. It is going to co-star Lady Gaga, and she is rumored to play Harley Quinn in this sequel.
So did you see the first? Yeah, did you see the first Joker, the one we're talking about here with Joaquin Phoenix?
Yes, I did. I actually don't think I finished the movie.
Wow.
Yeah. Chris and I got interrupted, and we never quite got back around to it.
Okay.
Because I feel like I have to restart it at this
Yeah,
point.
and it's a heavy movie, so it's not
You can't just like jump in and jump out.
Yeah, no, for
So
sure.
I don't remember what happened that we had to interrupt the movie, but we just didn't get back to it.
Well, so continuing the trend of like, recurring guests on the show, Peter Gilbertson. Go check out his books on Amazon. Peter J. Gilbertson. We have constantly complete opposite opinions on everything now when it comes to movies and stuff. So, the Joker, this one, I enjoyed quite a lot. And he was not a fan because he's like saying, "Oh, it's not really the Joker" to him.
Sure.
Which I understand, and I'm usually one for authenticity and stuff, but I've said it before, where if you're going to keep doing film adaptations of a character repeatedly, you kind of give yourself space to start having a different take. Otherwise, it's the same thing. If we're going to have Batman every, few years, a new Batman, to me, it makes sense. It's okay. You can allow for some deviation. When it's your first adaptation, I'm not giving them that leeway. Like, make the thing you're adapting. So with the Joker, yes, it's my argument was he's kind of, you see him become the Joker by the end, or what could be the Joker, because the rest of the film he's not really the Joker, but it's a Joker origin. So, I don't know.
Sure.
But musical is definitely a new direction, very new direction.
I don't like it at all.
Oh, okay, all right, wow. So the musical element of it, or the Lady Gaga element of it, or just all of the above?
This one aspect of this is not Lady Gaga's fault. I am a little tired of like 50 million different rumors around like potential Harley Quinns and like seeing 6 different Harley Quinns. Do you know what I'm saying right now? Right now there's too many surrounding like the Joker, Batman's, like Suicide Squad. Like I really just need a little bit of continuity right now. Because we're talking about I think Anya Taylor-Joy being rumored as Harley Quinn in the Bat universe, correct? In
Anya Taylor-Joy, I know, was being rumored as Black Cat, and
who are we talking about as rumored? Yeah, but I thought we were also talking about her as a possible rumor for Harley Quinn at the same time.
It might have been, but
that could have also been like a wish fulfillment casting.
Yeah, because we even have a video up about this separately. Yeah, both things.
So I mean, potentially it's her, and I think I said it at this time too. I was like, I don't really love this because I sort of feel like Margot Robbie is like getting her time as Harley Quinn right now, so I just sort of want to stick with that. But like, maybe I could get behind it if it's like really two truly separate universes. Like maybe I could wrap my brain around it. But if we're gonna add like a third Harley Quinn going on, like I just don't like it. That's just too much right now because nobody feels settled in the role if everybody's playing in the role.
Right.
So I don't fault Lady Gaga for that, because separately I think I would be interested in a take, because I feel like she does commit to her movie role. She's very just like in it and just like committed to whatever the vision of the character is. She is there 100%. I'm really looking forward. Random side plug. I just learned today that Amazon is getting House of Gucci on Prime Video this next weekend. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that, because I just have heard
I thought
really
you did
great
see
things.
that.
I didn't see that.
Okay. Yeah, I want
No,
to watch
no.
that.
I want to watch it, and I just think like from what I've heard about her performance there, I'm really excited to see that. What I've seen her in other things, I've really enjoyed her. So yeah, so like that casting doesn't particularly bother me that way, but I don't like the concept of a musical. Full stop.
Yep. Okay. All right.
I don't see it. I don't get it.
Okay.
It's not where my brain is at for like a Joker character.
I um I
Oh,
guess I'm
hey. Sorry, Ellen found like the other story on the rumors of Anya Taylor-Joy
saying
being
she
Harley
is
Quinn.
in the talks
Yes,
to
yes.
play.
So rumors, nothing confirmed.
Hmm.
I mean, may or may not happen, but yeah, it's too much right now.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, this is what you get when you have I don't need to go on another tirade, I guess, but you get another
To be
like
short, messiness.
yeah, well, you just when you have executives that don't know anything about where any of this stuff is coming from, the
Hmm.
only exposure they have to any of these characters is what their studios have already done.
Hmm.
You just get like, well, let's have more of this thing that people seem to be liking.
Right.
When, you know, there's many comic book characters that are underutilized, people have never heard of, that barely, that maybe even barely have a following, that more people would be okay with you tampering with, that you
Hmm.
could use, that you don't have to sit and recycle the same people.
Hmm.
Like, yes, Harley Quinn is a great character. She's cool. I get it. But yeah, we don't need to. It was kind of the thing where I always had this problem with X-Men comics where, my favorite, but they always, they'd often have two teams, be their red team or the blue team and the gold team, that kind of thing. And every comic would want to have Wolverine.
Yeah.
So if you had Uncanny X-Men and the all new X-Men, they all want to have Wolverine as part of the team.
He's always there.
Yeah. And it's like, you don't have to do this. Okay. There's so many characters that are great. You don't have to have Wolverine be in all of them. And it's the same thing we're getting here now. Like, the problem is it takes talent to like write these other characters that don't have these built-in audiences
Right.
already. This knowledge base already. It's like Spider-Man, easy. We don't have to do any of the hard work. Just put Spider-Man on screen. They love him, right? So, yeah.
Well, and I mean, Spider-Man's like kind of a great example of at least you could have a bit of rotation in his side characters.
Yeah.
Joker doesn't have a ton of opportunity like that.
Yeah.
Like he's very synonymous with Harley Quinn.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I mean, it's great that they've written one film without her. I mean, challenge, could you do two? Or just leave it alone? Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, there's
Hmm.
just not like an easy next choice to go to unless I'm missing something. But
No, the
they're just such a synonymous duo, like Joker and
mhm.
Harley Quinn. So I get it. It's like the easy, like, lead in, everybody knows there's a built-in audience there. I get it. But like, yeah. It's just oversaturation of the market right
Yeah.
now.
That's why I'm kind of okay with this idea, because if you're going to go ahead and do these villain films, because I think that's part of the problem to begin with, is the idea, this trend of doing villain films. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's have a Joker movie. Let's have Venom movies. Let's have a Morbius movie. Like, just quit.
Let's humanize some villains.
There was rumors for a long time of a Sinister Six movie. It's like, no, you're supposed to see the hero, and then it becomes an ensemble thing.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I'm just not a fan of that in general. So when they
Yeah.
manage to pull something off like the Joker, and then that's impressive to me. But yeah, not my thing.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on right now. I feel that. I feel like that trend, that recent trend, I won't say the trend, that recent trend really started when we got like Wicked and all of those series of
Mm,
books where we had to like rewrite the Wicked Witch of the West, and then suddenly we were rewriting like other fairy tale characters, and then that sort of like spilled over into like those seem really cool. Like, let's start doing this with like comic book villains because
Deadpool.
everybody loves comic books right now. Um, and I mean, Deadpool is awesome. I cannot say enough that I love that movie. Not Ryan Reynolds' like tragic other appearances as
Hmm.
Deadpool in other movies. Um, but great job, but leave it alone. It's the
Yeah.
classic Hollywood overkill of something that was cool, and then you did it so much, people are just like, ugh, a
Yep.
lot.
Yep.
Oversaturation. Gonna say it again.
Well,
It's another one of my
and
words for the night.
your statement that everybody loves comic books is inaccurate, however, because no one loves comic books. No one's buying them.
Yeah, everybody loves
They're
comic book
they're
based
getting
movies.
dusty on the
They look
shelf.
they love comic book heroes
Yeah.
and their movies right now.
I've got more comments on this when we get to the boys.
Sure.
All right. Well, that's
All right.
that. We'll see what happens. I'm sure we'll get some cool songs, if nothing else, out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So,
mean, I wouldn't care if okay, also I have to since we're on Lady Gaga and music. Lady Gaga wrote the closing song for Top Gun Maverick.
oh, I heard about that. Yeah, I didn't listen to it yet.
Full stop. Get that out of that movie.
Really, it doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit. It's
Okay.
a great song. It's actually
Hmm.
really cool, but closing out a Top Gun movie with like
Yeah,
all the other classic music that they bring back, nope.
but was it
Sore
done in
thumb.
like a kind of '80s
I mean, a
tone
little bit,
vibe?
but
Not
it
enough.
still sticks out. It still is just
Okay.
like it just like wrong foots you right at the end of the
Hmm.
movie. Um,
Okay.
and again, not knocking Lady Gaga, not knocking the song, but it is just a wrong choice to close out that movie.
Hmm. Okay.
That would honestly be one of my biggest complaints.
Okay. Well, speaking of inspired by comics or
Mm,
adaptations in general, I guess we can talk about the new Hunger Games movie, which a couple
yeah.
weeks ago now, during kind of, I don't know, Geek Week and E3 stuff and all that, they
Mhm.
sort of revealed a little tiny teaser. It's coming next year.
Yep.
Um, I was like, okay, are there more books or what? And apparently there is.
Mhm.
Came out in 2020. So this is that. What do you take of this news? Are you a fan of the other Hunger Games movies? Are you a fan of the book?
So, okay, so I will describe my Hunger Games experience. I read the books late in the game because by the time I learned of them, they were like the popular thing, and I
Sure.
hate the popular thing, whatever
Yep.
it is, like it's everybody's like crazy about. If I'm not already in it, it's too late for me, and I want to read it or watch it, whatever, after everybody else, so I don't have to talk about it. So I read the Hunger Games books late in the game. I did like them. So I went and watched the movies. I wasn't, like in the theaters crazy about them. I was just, watching them at home.
Okay.
First two I liked. Um, third one I watched and was okay, and then I never finished the fourth, the Mockingjay Part Two. I did not ever see it.
Okay.
Just like
Okay.
fell off real sharp.
Sure. They, uh, yeah, I don't remember those later ones very well.
Yeah,
Definitely seemed to overstay its welcome.
yeah. Yeah, it was another
Uh,
one of those, like, we're gonna split the last book into multiple movies where, like, Harry Potter was doing that, Twilight was doing that, Lord of the Rings not Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit was, like, dragging itself out into its, like, 3-movie mess, and I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
ain't nobody got time for this.
Mm-hmm. Did real pressing question.
Mm-hmm.
Did Natalie Dormer in the later Hunger Games movies start the shaved hair on one side of the head trend, or did that movie take a trend that was already happening?
Ooh, I thought she started it, but I could be wrong.
I don't know
She
either.
looked great. If she did start it and everybody decided to copy her, great, because she looked awesome.
Sorry if I'm like waving around like a madman in here instead of a gnat.
Did you catch a fly?
I got the gnat.
So, nice reflexes.
That's my Taekwondo.
I was just gonna say that. No wonder you got first place in weapons.
Yeah, we're
catching
things with chopsticks. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if she started it, but she looked fantastic. She was definitely a highlight. I mean, obviously, as was Philip Seymour Hoffman, even though that was also very sad.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. I haven't read the books. I actually was really into the movies as they were coming out. I had my problems. Mostly those problems names started with P and with a PETA.
Gotcha. Hey, okay, so are you Team Gale or are you Team PETA?
Gale.
Yes! Oh my god!
PETA is just...
I've like almost never met another Gale. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Who wants PETA?
I don't know. People.
It's like the fanatical group that throws blood on things too. It sounds what it sounds like. And then it's...
Oh my god.
I don't know how he's in the books. In the movies, he is lame. He is so lame.
Yes. I mean, he's like nice, but lame.
He's nice. He's like the definition of a beta. He's like way not good enough for Katniss, you know? It's like he's just a stepping stone.
You sure you were a fan of the books and the movies, John?
Yeah,
what's her face? The lead character.
It's been a while. Yes, I have not revisited them. I think what I appreciated about them, I enjoyed them thematically. I'm very a fan of this is not post-apocalyptic, you know, but it is a dystopian. And so I'm a big fan of those kind of cautionary tales. And the cast was so good. You had, what's his name? He was like the leader. Donald Sutherland.
Oh, Donald Sutherland. Yeah. President Snow.
Mm-hmm. And the guy that's kind of the crazy fashion dude hosting the events and shows. You like him.
Oh my God, Stanley Tucci.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I love him.
So it's got a good cast.
I also love Woody Harrelson.
Right, yep.
As the washed up old mentor. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good cast, good themes, enjoyable music. Didn't know where it's going to go. It felt, the sad thing is it kicked off like the endless YA boom, again, okay, every Hollywood, everything now has to try to search the bookshelves for the latest young adult something to make into a movie. And it got old fast, But yeah, Maze Runner Alan brings up, which I enjoyed the first one of those too, but again, it was just
Divergent.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that was enough. But we've had a break now. There's a new book this is based on, so it's not like they're just going off somewhere making up their own thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably check it out on a streaming service.
Okay.
That seems reasonable to me.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, next year. Look forward to everyone.
I will.
I didn't put anything. I didn't put a link in here. I was just going to ask you, do you want to talk more about Ezra Miller? Because there's more. There's always more.
God, this child.
Yes.
What he be doing now?
Okay. So, a couple weeks ago, news broke. I'm reading this currently from MSN.com.
Okay.
Story broke that the parents of an 18-year-old filed for a protective order against Ezra Miller and accused them of grooming. Per the Los Angeles Times, the parents believed Miller had been psychologically manipulating, physically intimidating, and endangering the safety and welfare of their kid, including giving her drugs and alcohol and attempting to sleep in a bed with the then 14-year-old when Miller was 25. They accused Miller of physical assault as well as perpetuating cult-like behaviors and emotional abuse.
Jesus.
Let's see. But as of mid-June, Miller could not be located in order to be served the protection order. According to Times, Miller and Iron Eyes, that's the name here, had spent time in several places, including New York, London, Vermont, and Hawaii, where Miller was arrested earlier this year on 2 separate occasions for second-degree assault and disorderly conduct and harassment, which we discussed that earlier. Let's see. What else here is relevant? Let's see. So what it sounds like is these parents, though, I don't have too much sympathy for the parents because they apparently let their 14-year-old daughter travel all over the place with this Hollywood star and then now turn up as she's an adult and she doesn't want as much to do with him and stuff, say that she's been groomed and like had all this stuff done to her. In my mind, it's a little too late, but that's what's happening. And I thought it was crazy too that they couldn't find him. It's like he was like on the run. Now, recently they did find him, I believe, and he was served. But the Rolling Stone magazine did an extensive piece talking about a young mother and her child and her children, all between ages of 1 and 5, that are staying on Miller's 96-acre Vermont farm. So like it just gets so weird. So apparently they're growing and smoking weed in this place where it's not legal or whatever as well. You have this other woman with her several children there on his ranch that I just don't know what's going on.
It's a lot of information to process.
So what we know is that he has assaulted several people, screamed at them, been arrested for harassment and theft and all this stuff, in close proximity with one, again, or whatever. He has, I've been hearing he's been fired from like DC stuff, but I don't have any actual confirmation of that. I don't know if that's just behind the scenes stuff.
It does seem that he has a substance abuse problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I think that seems fairly clear at this point. It's a weird situation where, none of this, should it be proven true, would shock me because there's just so much weird happening in his orbit, in his sphere. He is the cause of or has been related to things that he's done or people around him have done, he's contributed to. So I don't know what to think about it. It's a strange tale, and it seems we're only at the beginning of it. Mm-hmm. I do worry for this like mother and her children who are like living on his property. That seems strange. I have no idea what the circumstances of that are, but God, I hope somebody is like checking to make sure they're okay.
Now, maybe to me, all that stuff could be like jumping on this bandwagon because we see all the craziness that's occurring. So maybe this is something more simple, like
True.
Family, friends, they're staying there right now.
They're making something out of what's not actually true.
And yes, he's growing weed and they're smoking there in front of the kids and stuff, but that's all like whatever. That's your own preference and kind of thing. But there's also supposedly a lot of firearms just laying around.
Not okay.
And a kid apparently was found with like a bullet in their
Oh,
mouth.
oh, nope,
Like,
nope.
so I don't know what's all true here. I don't know if things are ever going to go to court or what's going to happen. I don't know. But it's just like when you think it's done, like maybe it's going to be done for a while, it just keeps going.
Not okay. Not okay at
So,
all. I don't know what's happening there, but boy, do I hope somebody checks in on those kids and potentially gets them out of there,
mhm.
because that's not okay. I mean, your
People,
choices are your choices, but like leaving firearms and bullets around kids, that's not any level of acceptable, no matter what the circumstances are.
the yeah, because the kid was like one, it's like an infant, and stuff like
Yeah,
that. And
they
just
don't know.
they
They
don't know
don't
what's
know.
going on. So,
Absolutely not. And I mean, I may be on a different level than somebody else, but I also feel that smoking pot potentially, in the same house as a kid, around a kid, I can't say where the kid is when somebody is smoking pot, is a far different level in my mind than leaving firearms and bullets around a kid.
well, and I mean, it develop. There's a lot of arguments for developmentally, like exposure to that kind of thing for kids. Is not a good
Mhm.
thing. Um, but
Exposure to pot.
yeah, like
Yeah.
actually,
No, I'm
like
not saying like go smoke
yeah,
pot around your kids. I'm
yeah,
just saying like, I don't know, like to me, like maybe like if they were like outside and the kids upstairs sleeping, like,
hmm
those are different circumstances to me than like also
hmm
smoking pot like right in front of or in the same room as your child versus like having firearms around your child. You know what I mean?
hmm
Like there's
yep.
degrees and circumstances, but like to me, hard stop, firearms and bullets are never okay.
There is for me, a lot of this stuff would be like if these were singular things, but it's all so much.
Mm-hmm.
If there was one story, be like, crazy Hollywood person, but it's getting to be a big picture here of
He,
really weirdness.
no matter what is true or untrue, I think it is clear that Ezra Miller needs help
Yes, that's for sure.
and potentially people around him, excuse me,
Mhm.
around them need help.
The um, question someone posed was, okay, who's got the bigger cult vibes? Is it going to be Ezra Miller or uh, shoot, what's his name now? Jared Leto. Because apparently Jared Leto,
I know
trying to,
nothing of this.
I know no one talks about it. I spell his name. Leto,
Leto?
yeah, cult. Jared Leto cult. Let's see. Okay, so I'd have to look into this more, but because I just heard about this a couple months ago or whatever. But in 2019, photos emerged. The Twitter account of actor musician Jared Leto's 30 Seconds to Mars under the hashtag Marsland. Posts featured pictures of white-robed Leto, Jesus-like in appearance, tending to flocks of similarly white-robed attendants. The caption on the post read, "Yes, this is a cult," as if in anticipation of how the public might react. Um, but was it real or just a publicity stunt from Leto? Let's
Could
see.
be.
Yeah, right. Let's see.
I mean, he showed up to last year's Met Gala with like an exact twin of himself.
Really?
So yeah,
Hmm.
I mean,
Huh.
he's very weird.
Yeah. hmm So we'll have to look at this for later because I'll have to read
Sure.
more into it. But if
Yeah,
you're
no,
looking to
I heard
do a
none of
deep
that.
dive
So
out there, go ahead and take a look into the possibility of Jared Leto having kind of a maybe not a cult, but a cult following in a way. Some very dedicated fans that they don't shy away from letting him praise him. So
interesting.
yeah. Anyways, off on tangents here. Um, but we're going to
Very
talk
weird
about
stuff I hadn't heard of.
yes. we're going to talk about a show that has
very weird stuff.
Yeah, kind of some thematically similar things in a way, I guess. I am Ramiro is in the chat. Thank you for dropping in. We are going to talk about The Boys season 3 episodes 1 and 2 now, however,
yes.
though. And so that means we will be getting spoilery about this show.
Mm-hmm.
I will say up front that I have not read the comics for The Boys.
Same.
So if you're looking for how this differs from the comics, we won't have that here. Maybe we can find a guest that has read them or whatever. To my understanding, they're quite different, but maybe tonally feel familiar. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, the last couple seasons, we talked about this on the show as well. Seasons 1 and 2. How did season 2 leave you? What's been your impressions of the series so far? Were you excited for this upcoming season? All that sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think we talked a little bit about like The Boys freshman season 1 was excellent. It was absolutely amazing, and like season 2 just didn't quite live up, but was still really solid. And I still feel that way. I think season 2 still had a great story arc and introduced us to some great new characters that I'm glad have joined the show. But yeah, I mean, season 2 was like kind of the classic like splitting up of the team, you know, that there was just too much difference between Butcher and Huey, and they just couldn't quite make it work, and they were, both chafing with each other's like approach to dealing with this with a superhero situation. And so you had like the classic like, oh, okay, we're too different, we have to split up. And I mean, we have to split up, but like sort of still, we still got the same goals, but we just can't like work together that way. So season 3 I thought was like a great opening of a time jump, like what's changed in now like the kind of year-ish I think that it's been since the moments of season 2 left us, where it makes sense where we arrive in season 3, where like these kind of orders, patterns, everyday lives have jumped into like a very static place, where everything's already built up. So Huey's working at this new like federal bureau of like superhero regulations. Everything's already done. We don't have to watch it being created and built up. It's already there, because season 3, to me, it was very clear from the beginning, is about tearing all of that down, because we don't care about that stuff. We don't care. The Boys is not a show where we care about like rules and regulations and the nice, neat way of doing things. The Boys is like tear it down, blood and guts, like hardcore knockdown, drag out fights of, superheroes versus like these regular humans, and how impossible these situations are and how messy everything is. So to me, season 3 opened the way that it should have.
Okay.
Like jumping in the middle of everything being like quote unquote perfect, especially for Huey. Like he is living his dream life. And as soon as like those first notes of Uptown Girl like came in, and he was like doing this little like adorable morning routine, I just knew, I was like, we're about to burn this shit down.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm glad that this was the point season 3 dropped us in on.
Okay. I'm Ramiro is chatting a little bit here. Sure. In the comments, saying it kind of looks like Justice League. And I was saying, like, visually, I think the way this is toned, color graded and stuff, it does have a Zack Snyder Justice League kind of look to it, for sure. So let's see. Oh, and if he's saying so, maybe difficult to imagine a new hero without kind of looking like the original ones, kind of maybe that they're based off of. I mean,
sure.
If you're not familiar with the concept, I am Ramiro. It's definitely this is not in the Marvel or DC world or universe. Is separate, and the whole kind of premise is that what would it maybe more realistically be like if we had super powered people? And so various things have tried this in the past. I know there was one with a movie. What if kids had powers? What would they do? Kind of thing. Teens, So this is like, it's one of those things where I've seen people, they'll take Captain America's scene beating up some people and make it more realistic, like with the force they're applying, and their heads are just exploding and their rib cages are getting busted out, and like you're just going splat because be more realistic. And so this is what would the corporatization and the really how would the world handle and facilitate outside of the kind of glossy oh well they're heroes now and our children celebrate them and yay, it's kind of the dark side. So
yeah, I mean it's definitely still that, but what forces shape that?
Right.
Our children still, it's glossy on the outside and everybody, the public thinks oh, celebrations, our kids dress up like them, how adorable. And then this is pulling back the curtain of these are very produced people. They are commodified people.
Yep. So I really like the direction the show takes in that way. That's definitely what drew me to it, because I do feel like it's a very plausible reality that we could see if we were to have superheroes, and something that mainstream comics have not really addressed or tackled, because it's not as fun and kid friendly for sure.
Oh God, no.
yeah, as we see in the opening episode.
Let children watch this.
Oh man. Yeah. So I'm kind of in the same place where you are with thinking season 1 and 2. Season 1 really grabbed me. It was very interesting. Set up some really fun characters. Season 2, I'm probably a little more sour on than you, just in the sense that I thought they didn't handle their delicate balance and critique of social issues as
wasn't quite as nuanced.
Yeah, as season 1 didn't manage that quite as well. And then, like you say, the kind of traditional team falling apart kind of thing is fine, but there got to be moments that were too much. Some characters started to grate at my patience a little bit, and that sort of thing. But ultimately, the big picture stuff, what was happening, and getting to see more of Homelander's weirdness, and a lot of that was all rewarding stuff.
Yes.
Getting to see Frenchie develop into a more mature character and attach himself to right. So
cute.
Yep.
This show has such few cute moments. You just kind of got to grab onto what you get, and they can do cute well, but more often they do horrifying well.
Yep. So yes, horrifying. That's how we start out in episode 1 in this season. They're letting us know right away what kind of show we're getting into, if you had not already known. It's funny that I Am Ramiro mentions Justice League, because they actually make a Snyder Cut reference. Basically, they're in there saying, "Thanks to the fans, we got to release this version," and
yes. So what? Yeah. What? If nobody knows what John is talking about, is they make a superhero movie within this universe called Dawn of the Seven, and they have to very quickly rewrite it due to last season, the new character we were introduced to, Stormfront. It's revealed by the end of the season that she is a secret Nazi. and
like
finally,
a mega Nazi.
It's a secret that she is a Nazi, and then when it comes out, she's like, it's horrific. But then of course, like it's revealed to the public, and so this movie was originally built around her being part of our main superhero group, the Seven. Definitely can't have any Nazis anywhere in there, so they quick rewrite the movie to make her like a villain who has betrayed the Seven and most importantly Homelander.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we kind of start off the season in this
like,
terribly written superhero cheesy movie. I mean, Chris and I were just like cringing through it. But I do love the cameo by Charlize Theron playing Stormfront. Oh god, she was so like perfectly cheesy, but not being cheesy. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because
like the dialogue was cheesy, but she was so committed. But she was like also aware that it was terrible. I don't know how she like did that, but it was perfect.
I think they probably just told her, pretend you're acting in a Marvel movie. I think that's probably all they said. Because this show, more than ever now, it did
mock the superhero movie in a really great way.
It's because you see it. Like, yes, but it's cringy juxtaposed with the seriousness of this show and the reality that this show can bring. And then so you put this, plop it in the middle here, and it shows like how ridiculous it is. Remove it, put a Marvel logo on it, and put it to screens, and people will eat it up.
Yes.
I mean, to me, obviously they go a little bit over, but just to me, the point is driven home. Like here, you're getting this corny thing that,
Well, that's part of this show's like, I don't know if I want to say charm, but it's part of its I don't know, reasoning or its methods or something, is to just take something and draw it out to the ridiculous point to make its point about that thing.
Right. Yes.
So that's what this show's doing. I mean, it's part of its motive, modus operandi, whatever you want to call it, is to like take that thing and whatever it is that it's shining a spotlight on, and to stretch it into the ridiculous, so that you're like, okay, this is kind of like, I get your point about it.
It's not to the same level as South Park, but it is that same kind of strategy. It's that same kind of take something,
it's very,
bring it to the nth degree to like be able to like talk about the ridiculous state of society today.
On various like issues or points or for sure.
And
so it's a great way to kind of make fun of the overdone superhero movie. While also making points about like the characters themselves, the storylines of this own show. I mean, it makes fun of itself a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so we talked. My drink is named The Deep. We also get into talking about The Deep. He has his like book called Deeper. He's getting the interviews about what he's gone through. He's doing the like Lifetime movie channel film now. He says he's going to be the next Leah Remini.
Oh God. So props here, because these two kind of like appearances by The Deep in episodes 1 and episode 2 are the exact amount I want to see him. We had a whole storyline focused on him last season. I'm ready to take a pause on The Deep and just have him appear in these weird, like, he's promoting his book, Deeper, and then he like has a run-in with Homelander and basically is like a sniveling idiot, and then walks away and is like, oh, I think that went really well. Like, God, hilarious. And then here in episode 2, Billy Zane! playing the church leader that he's talking about, and he's like, doing this like Lifetime movie. Oh my God, I forgot about the fresco, which was like such a
Oh
thing.
yeah.
You can see in the background of this shot for those of you who are watching. So it makes me feel like, I mean, one, I absolutely loved everything about this like fake Lifetime movie. It was great. And then like Homelander coming on afterward and being sponsored by Lean Cuisine Vought TV meal things. Lean Lady meals or something. Hilarious. But it does make me think that something is going to be happening with the church again at some
Okay.
point. They've got to
Sure.
pop back up at some point because we didn't really resolve that storyline.
Yes.
So I kind of like if these are like lead-in hints to something happening there. These are hilarious, perfect ways to just kind of remind you about that and then go away while we focus on something else. So, well done on these rights because they're very funny.
I am Muro is kind of saying, so maybe this would be trying to get a grasp again on the series, saying,
oh, sure,
this would be comedic then. And it's like, yeah, it has a lot of dark humor,
yes,
for sure. Use a lot of gross things and whatever to bring a comedic twist. But there's stakes too.
Yeah, I mean they very much use a lot of like gore, like horror gore, to get their points across. There's a lot of like dark mockery. When we say ridiculous, I think it's just like these situations are so extreme as to stretch the point of believability about something, or there's such, and I can't believe I'm using this word again, but like such oversaturation of something that it just takes it so far that you can clearly tell it's mocking something else that's more real or more serious. But it's very seldom ridiculous in the like in itself they've written something too funny or too unreal to be believed.
Right. Yeah. It's
a very fine line to kind of describe that.
It strikes an interesting balance.
Yeah.
Yep. The other big news. So we're focusing on a lot of Homelander in here as well. We're having gone through the scandal he did in the last season.
Oof.
He's getting now. Starlight is being made co-captain.
Yes.
Which is very, to me, anyways, is very clearly like we'd rather just have her be captain because her numbers are doing really well, but we can't deal with the image of like getting rid of you, and it's harder to control you if we were to do that as well. So, whereas I think he's thinking, oh, this is for image, but I'm still in control here. Right. It starts becoming clear that's not the way this is going to play out.
Yeah, so I am loving Giancarlo Esposito as Stan Edgar, the boss of Vought, who is, running these superheroes' lives. I love how done he is with all of this. Where we have that scene right before Starlight gets made co-captain and he sits down with, congressman running for president. And he's like, gotta be real with you. I'm tired of this babysitting gig. We made superheroes and then now I have to babysit all of them and I hate it. It's stupid. I don't wanna.
Yeah, right.
He's basically like a parent who's like, I give up. I don't want to babysit these damn kids anymore. So, he's just kind of done with all of it. Like in his interaction with Homelander, he's like, Starlight has better numbers. Suck it up, bro. I don't care about your feelings anymore. He's just done. And he very much doesn't care that Homelander can hear how done he is with him.
Is there a chance that was deception? Is there a chance that he doesn't mean that and he's just saying that to the candidate for president strategically?
No, in my mind. I think he really is done with the babysitting gig. And I think he just wants to move on to I want to make money and not have to care about like
Right.
shaping every aspect of these people's lives. Like I think
Right.
he's over the whole like covering up the messes, like doing the
Right.
PR thing, like, you know, he just doesn't want to be responsible for that. He just wants his money and he wants to go do his own thing. And so, of course, stemming from all of this is the fact that Vought has now made V24, which is the same compound that has created all of these superheroes, V, but specifically named 24 because it lasts for 24 hours. So it can make someone a superhero for a day.
Right.
And then they're back to being, plain vanilla human.
Yep.
We haven't really explored a ton about what that means, what the
Right.
side effects might be. If you're injured in your 24 hours as a superhero, like, do you feel
Yeah.
that when you return to human, or are you just like fine? But yeah, so that's the big news out of the first episode. I mean, among other big news, that is very big news, big ramifications that they've developed this
Maybe
compound.
maybe you just drink it and you have the ability to grow your hair any length, shorter or
Yeah,
longer.
maybe it doesn't
I
work.
mean, you don't know what's the ability going to be.
Yeah, it could be
The
random like
abilities,
V is.
yeah.
Um,
So
yeah, I mean, he seems to suggest that, it's more about like you're a super
strength and
soldier.
stuff,
Yeah.
right? But
But yeah, I mean, we don't actually know that.
hmm
So yeah, so I do actually feel like he doesn't want out of the superhero game. I think he's tired of Homelander.
yeah,
'Cause Homelander is
hmm
crazy.
yeah,
And he's doing his apology tour. It's sad. He just
yeah.
like literally repeats the same thing without clearly believing any of it. And I
Mhm.
think Giancarlo
What
Esposito, Stan Edgar, is just like, whatever. I don't care. I don't want to craft your image anymore.
But isn't this also now like nice? Like it rings true. This is what we get. You know, someone does something someone doesn't like, and they are just like paraded around out there. It is literally an apology tour. People go on
Yeah.
every show that will have them and say the same lines, and that's what So
Which
Homelander's
which
going through those
I
motions, and
yeah, I think is sad. I think um I don't know. I feel that true apologies aren't apology tours. They are, who have I hurt? What is the quickest way I can get a heartfelt message of apology to them? I will do that thing and apologize and then just be done.
right,
Because making an apology tour is about making an apology to the public, not actually to the person that you hurt.
right, right. Yeah. So it's about saving face, which
Exactly. It's
right.
not being truly sorry. If you're truly sorry, like, I don't know. I guess I'm maybe not a person who believes that you need to apologize like over and over
Right.
unless that's what that singular person or group of people require you to do or ask for, and then that's something between you two. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's like something that's different than like
Yeah.
making an apology tour.
Right. hmm Yeah. Every every situation, I suppose, is a little different in that
Right,
regard.
right.
But
I'm not gonna say like, I know what's best in every situation, but I think people can tell the difference between, being genuinely sorry and apologizing and Homelander's like fake BS, like I'm gonna be on every talk show and say the exact same words and mean clearly none of it.
hmm hmm well, and if it was up to him, he probably wouldn't be doing that. But
No,
that's the thing. We're
that's the Vought
you're
machine.
yeah. Mhm. They mentioned other superhero teams in the first episode, which had me
Yeah,
intrigued
that was
because like we
fun.
really hadn't. Yeah, where are they?
Payback.
Kind of thing. Um, and then they give us one, Payday, the
Oh,
group
it's
superhero group.
payday? I thought it was payback.
Was it? I mean, that would make more
Alan.
sense. That would make more sense than Payday,
Alan.
but for some reason I read it as uh,
Sure. I mean, they don't say
that,
it very long because they focus on
yeah,
the team, Crimson Countess, Gunpowder, and then of course our big main focus, of the season, Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy.
Okay, because we're the children of the generation that we are, did you hear Soldier Boy cranked at in your head the first time somebody said that? Because I did, and I was so disappointed in myself.
So I hear Soldier Boy, but honestly, it's really sad because I think of 90 Day Fiance, because this is what
Sure.
Ashley and Tara watch, and there's a person on there that calls himself something really similar. It's not Soldier Boy, but it's something like that. So I thought of him right away, and equally as sad, if
right?
not
Were
more
you just
so.
like, oh no, why
Yeah.
did I do that? Yeah.
If Tara was in the chat, she could tell me right now who this is. But anyways, yeah. So we get off to, I think, a pretty crazy start. Anything else you want to like really mention on episode 1 before we move on?
John.
Yes.
What have we missed? That's super huge, but also super small from season 3, episode 1. That scene. That scene.
Well,
Yeah.
we had the opening scene, which is crazy.
So we have to talk about the way that, so Huey is in this opening episode of season 3 is Butcher's boss. In the sense that, Butcher leads a field team investigating superheroes, that are doing wrong, and, bringing the evidence back to this bureau. And then, of course, these people like get charged and, arrested, remanded, brought to trial, whatever they do, various types of punishment. So Butcher has gotten intel on a certain superhero called Termite. And he, goes to Huey and he says, I want to bring him in. And Huey's like, nope, just surveillance. So Frenchie and Kimiko go to a party that Termite is hosting. Oh my God. I don't know how much I can talk about this scene, without being too non-family friendly. But I'll do my best. But yeah,
we are talking about the boys. It's not.
We are talking about the boys. I mean, I feel like we've been pretty good so far. For a show with this much gore. But this scene really takes the cake. I mean, I knew going into season 3 that there were people who talked about that scene in the opening, and they're like, when you see it, you'll know. And boy, did I know in that scene that I was going to be seeing it.
It seems very irresponsible to crawl into someone's penis.
Oh
when you
right after you've done some coke.
Well, if sneezing is enough to like let you lose control of your abilities,
of your powers, yeah.
Yes.
So he's called Termite because he can get really small, and we learn in this scene he has a male partner, and his lover would like him to crawl inside his penis and stimulate him, and obviously it goes tragically wrong after Termite has sniffed some cocaine, which tickles his nose. He sneezes and literally explodes out of his partner's penis, cutting him in half.
We just lost half our viewers. So
I know. I just, oh my God. That's like, I was just waiting for it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just felt this about to happen. The second he got small and was going to do whatever he was going to do. I didn't know at first that he was going to crawl inside his penis. But whatever he was going to do, I like already knew. I was like, this is bad. That he's dying, right? You know what I mean? Yep. Oh my God. So, yeah, we got a firsthand view of field work for this new team. Poor Frenchie and poor Kimiko got beaten up by a tiny termite. Frenchie nearly had him crawl up another orifice of his body to kill him. Kimiko saved the day, and then Butcher saved the day by trapping Termite in a bag of cocaine.
That's pretty funny. Yeah.
It was really good.
Shaking him up.
Shaking him up, a little powder covered termite donut looking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
That's
so
funny.
we got firsthand kind of what this new reality that everybody is living in looks like, and how much Butcher dislikes it, how much Huey does like it. But
Yep.
unfortunately for poor Huey, his life gets turned upside down, though not inside out, by the end of the episode, as he learns his new boss is our head exploder.
Yep.
From last season.
Yep. Yeah, we're
And
getting
is, in
big
fact,
reveals
soup.
quick. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I liked it. I liked that they didn't dance around it, and we got really right away. So his boss, Victoria Newman, clearly has a secret past, because this guy comes up to her, calls her Nadia. She pretends not to know him. He gets intrigued. He follows them, sees her explode him with just, a look. And literally learns that she's our head popper, and that he's been kind of living a lie for the past year.
Yep. Crazy stuff. Episode 2, we get again the little stuff on with the Deep. They throw shade at Nexium. No, I think that's the name of Nexium. The other cult guy was arrested, put in prison, stuff like that. And some of the women had brandings of his initials. So they throw that in there a little bit. This episode is where
this was a perfect plug to put Fresca in, and they didn't. They just kept it in the background. But I'm waiting for the Deep's Fresca endorsement.
Well, I don't know. I think that's over with.
Or Fresca's competitor. I don't know.
Right? Just gonna jump like that. This episode is we get into further seeing how Homelander is still hanging out with a very injured and beat up Stormfront.
Which was another big reveal.
Surprise, yeah.
From episode 1. I did not realize she was alive.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't think that was the case. So, and then there's the team. We're kind of getting, the team being split up is all having their issues, and like you said, everybody's sort of the only one that's been happy has been Quaid, Huey, and that's changing quickly. And now things might change for the rest of the team, that they are more okay with where things are going to go, because the big thing in this episode we find out is that, the Vought is controlling both sides of the coin. So basically, Giancarlo Esposito has raised, essentially, are now head of the bureau that's designed to manage and regulate the superheroes.
Yes.
So no wonder certain congressmen and stuff like that got their heads exploded when having these hearings and stuff like that, per the directive of Vought itself.
Yeah, which to me says he is out of this a certain element of the superhero game. You know what I mean? I feel like this episode confirmed for me he is out of Vought. He doesn't want to be the PR machine. He doesn't want to have that. He wants this level of congressional control kind of thing. Yeah.
Yep.
But that was a big moment.
But the whole thing is, it's again, I like the balancing act. The balancing act, and not only tackling different issues, but also now in this where we see the incredible amount of control that Vought has. It's just been extended now. But whereas the episode is, and I guess I'm jumping ahead here some stuff, but Homelander, to me, the big thing in this episode is that we're getting that he's maybe going to stop playing ball.
Yeah.
So the episode we've been preparing for his birthday celebration. And so There's been, oh yeah, we got to talk about too the American Hero, the clearly American Idol kind of
Oh
talent show, all this stuff,
God.
that they're doing.
Yes. Yes. There's so much going on in this
Hmm.
season, and it's all so good. There's nothing I feel like is the weak part of this season so far. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yep.
everything that's happening feels integral.
Hmm. It keeps
Um
moving.
yeah, everything keeps it moving. There's no like slow moments. Yeah, so American Hero, the reality show where everybody's competing to fill the two spots that have been left on the seven, by the Deep and Black Noir. Is Black Noir still on the seven, or is he like still on his like weird sabbatical, resting,
Um,
recovering?
yeah, that's a good question. I mean, obviously Stormfront.
Oh, Stormfront. Yeah, sorry, my bad, my bad. Clearly. Um, so yeah, so everybody's competing to replace Stormfront and the Deep, and one of these people is one of Starlight's old boyfriends. Uh, what did he call himself at first? Now he calls himself Supersonic, but it was like some terrible,
Yeah.
awful, silly
He was like
name.
in a boy band
He
and
was in a boy band. Oh God, and their songs are so terrible. And the way, oh God, he performs one of them at Homelander's birthday, and oh God, it's so painful. It's so demeaning,
hmm.
especially him doing boy band moves by himself,
Yep. By
literally solo
himself,
on stage. It is painfully funny
singing
to
about how
watch,
finally you're now 16 or something
and
like that.
you can drive me crazy. Oh God,
Hmm.
it's so terrible. It's so bad. Um, so yeah, just kind of also like I feel like in that instance, like poking fun at like boy bands and
Yeah.
boy band lyrics and how actually like they can be pretty problematic sometimes.
Well, and like
Um
just I watch, like listen to K-pop and stuff like that. But man, the guy boy bands and some of that. I mean,
yeah.
I know it's not. I'm not the target audience, but wow,
Yeah.
wow. And so this is definitely that
Yes.
kind of
So
thing.
like the again the nth degree just to like
Yeah.
draw it out so painfully to be like oof, yeah,
Hmm.
ouch. Um so yeah, so that's I guess a different aspect to the show that maybe I am a little bit disappointed in, because we have this like now return of Starlight's ex-boyfriend. Huey gets insanely jealous, and I just sort of felt
Mm,
like this is not a good look for you, Huey. It's
right.
not good at all. I sort of feel like you should maybe be beyond this, or like not in this like jealousy place. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but I've never honestly really liked Huey all that much. He's
Um,
just
I did in the first season, when he was just sort of like getting into everything and
just to
Butcher was like
start.
taking him in hand and he just sort of
Right.
was like, yes, superheroes are a problem. Like I'm the new guy. I need to be brought into everything. But yeah, he's probably the character that swung back and forth for me the most.
Okay.
Where there have been moments where I've really liked him and then moments where I've really disliked him.
Mhm.
Whereas for other characters, I usually feel more settled on how I feel about them,
Yep.
positively or negatively. He has the widest swings for me.
Hmm. He just has never really left the state of not being pathetic.
Kind of
It's
whiny.
yeah, he's had his moment here, like you say, he felt like he's on top of the world for a little bit. But it's like if stuff's not going exactly the perfect way, then he just, I mean, he can't open a jar
Yeah.
without busting his hand open. Like he just can't. I'm just tired of watching the patheticness.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't really love how the first episode opened and he was kind of like dismissing his dad, even though his dad is kind of a weirdo.
Yeah.
Like Simon Pegg does do that very wonderfully. Love
Hmm.
that he's back in a cameo. Didn't love that he was dismissing his dad and then sort of like being very wishy-washy with Butcher asking him to be like, make a decision about what I'm doing. And he was like, oh, I don't know. I have to ask my other people. And I'm like, what is your job then, even?
Hmm.
Like, what is your function if all you can do is not make decisions and ask other people? Um, and then I didn't like his jealousy that was going on here with Starlight and her ex-boyfriend. And I especially didn't like it when they brought it back as a motivation for him to, like, go off on his own side mission. Mm-hmm. I was just like, you know what? You're better than that. Or you should be.
Not.
I guess I want you to be. So I just hated
We have enough going on, enough interesting things with a lot of characters.
I don't need this. This is the only subplot I don't need right now.
Yep. Let's see. Homelander meets with, Homelander meets with, he's on screen right now, Butcher, you know, because Butcher is trying to make the relationship work with his wife's kid, and Homelander wants to know where he is. They kind of have an interesting conversation, kind of a little foreshadowing there for what's to come between the two of them, I suppose. And
they're basically like, don't you miss, like, the days where we could just burn it all down? And they're both like, yep.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Two sides of the same coin.
Yep.
I mean, they like the situations that they were in where it was, like, just blood and mess and gore and straight up fighting each other, as opposed to this, like, very constrained, PR-driven, you know, like, we're fighting each other through the system, but nothing's happening.
Yep. So we get the investigation. They're looking for a Soldier Boy yet. So they're running down the crew of the old superhero team. Butcher actually takes the V-24, like you say, so we get to see what happens there.
I knew it was going to.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, yep.
I mean,
trailers,
right? How long could he really hold out?
Yeah.
After being given that.
Yep. But
by Maeve, who we haven't mentioned yet, but that was a kind of a fun cameo for her. I dig she's Butcher's inside informant relationship. I could run with that and see her there more.
Kind of makes sense. Maeve always seems practical.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Yeah, well, and I mean, she wants Homelander gone as much as, any of them do. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if she's smart about it. She's like, I know you hate him, so let me give you the scoop, see if you run with it and find anything, and I'll be over here.
Yep. It's a great premise to run with for the show, an overarching thing where you have a Superman character that is unstoppable and indestructible, it seems, and you don't want him around anymore. What are you going to do? And so we get these moments where it's like bots, controlling him and really putting him in his place and all that stuff. And you're like, okay, he's kind of limped that way. He's kind of maimed in a sense. But it's because he's so, like, developmentally small, young. Yeah. At this point that he's, not able to understand necessarily, despite him knowing how powerful he is, that he doesn't have to play this game. And so that's what I like our ending with the episode 2. We're getting his birthday celebration, and he's kind of just decided he's done with it, it seems. And I think what are they going to do?
Yeah, I think it's a very hard thing to really, in actuality, let go of wanting and needing to be liked. And he's had it for so long. He's been liked for so long. It's very hard for him to imagine a world without that. So I think for him, the apology tour and the climbing back, they're very short term in his mind, but when that turns out to not be the reality, that's the moment when he's like, I can't do this for, maybe another 5 years or whatever. I did my thing, it didn't work out, and now I'm out.
Yep. Let's see. What else do we I like your comment. How dare you associate Dame Judi?
Yes! She is not appearing at Homelander's birthday celebration. Not the Dame.
That's what the teleprompter says. I mean,
no, not the Dame. I did love the like random assortment of entertainers that Homelander was being like, look who's gonna appear at my birthday. It was just such a very random and odd collection. But I was, yeah. And they specifically called out Dame Judi Dench. I was like, no, get her out of there.
Yeah, a lot of things, there's a number of other things that happen. They're important, kind of, again, leading to this breaking point for Homelander is that he really did care for Stormfront, and she then goes and kills herself
on his birthday.
I
mean, his fake birthday, but his birthday.
Right, that's the day you celebrate, yeah. So that's what it is, I guess. And
yeah, that was again a move I didn't see coming. I mean, she was clearly very damaged, and it felt like she was only getting worse at the beginning of episode 2. So I guess I wasn't surprised that she was finally going to die, but this situation was a surprise to me.
It had to be just to burn him one last time, because
oh yeah, absolutely.
Because if you just knew you were gonna die, well, do you want to do it slowly, or do you want to like make a point and do it?
And she chose to make a point.
Yeah,
because he burned her first in his like, I'm not going to lead your Nazi revolution, but also I am the perfect specimen. It's very complicated.
Well, he's saying like, what do you need all this for? Like, I am
just me.
The thing. Right.
Just
like,
me.
I'm
yeah.
enough. So.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very weird, like, there are somehow two wrong sides of a coin here. You know what I mean? Like, you really
not somehow that happens all the time. In my opinion, so
it's just like very weird. Like I'm rooting for neither of you in this situation. You have two opposing viewpoints that are somehow both not right.
Yep. Well, and it's something that the show, I think normally balances pretty well, but it has to work on balancing, because we do need to have people to really root for. We do need to have people that we're a fan of. And, when I'm like tired of Butcher being too much of a jerk, or Huey being too whiny or something, it needs to be the people like Kimiko and Frenchie, like, that I care about what happens to them.
Yeah.
And the father, I don't remember if you mentioned his name. Yeah. Like, he's a good guy. We need to have those backbones, those centralized things. Even like Maeve, like, though she's compromised at times and like had to go through a lot.
Right.
We need to have these people that we have sympathy for and want to root for.
Right. So. And they've been solidly on the periphery, I think, in these first 2 episodes, but now like it's clear that like the team is getting back together. I'm hoping they'll take more central roles and we can get that like, better balance back in the show. I do think these first kind of 2 episodes were very necessary to move events forward and move things forward. Very solidly, tightly written, but you're right. We need to move into, I need somebody to root for other than Butcher and other than Huey. But I mean, Starlight.
Yes.
She seems very solid. She like knows who she is.
But she's with
confident. Huey. She is with Huey, but she is not standing for his shit, and she is saying like, need you to be better. I know where I am.
Yep.
So I mean, there's an element to that relationship that I think like they don't have permanency if he can't somehow find a way to get over his whininess. And I actually won't be sad about it, even though they are like kind of like the love story of the show. I don't need them to be together.
Yeah, we don't need to have. It's something that like the last season of Stranger Things did poorly in my mind. We don't need to have people that are allied together fighting amongst each other too much. You already have enemies that we'll have a lot of conflict between. You don't need to overdo it with your own side.
Yeah. So. I agree.
All right. there's obviously more. These episodes went fast, and they did a lot.
Sure.
But is there anything else we want to?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, now that we're hunting for Soldier Boy,
Mm-hmm.
and we're kind of tracking down his acquaintances and trying to figure out what happened to him, because the big point of finding out what happened is we're going to find a weapon that can kill Soldier Boy, who is apparently like another kind of analog character to Homelander. We can find a weapon that can kill Homelander.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's stretching it in any sense of believability to say, like, I don't think we're going to find this like miracle weapon. I think we're going to somehow find Soldier Boy alive.
Yeah,
I think it's crazy. I don't feel like that's crazy.
I think that's where it's going. I think we're going to find him alive, and it's more likely that they'll build a group of allies that will ultimately take down Homelander together.
Sure.
They're gonna have to have a super powered fight with Butcher in there against Homelander, and if Soldier Boy's part of that, and amongst others,
he's a very unknown element right now. I feel like we're getting hints that like his death was not his death, and he'll be brought in, maybe as a foil to Homelander, and there's going to be a superpower battle there, or maybe he like takes over for Homelander. You know what I mean? Like he kills Homelander and like goes like completely the other way. There's a lot of like unknowns right there, but I'm enjoying the premise of tracking down his story because we want to find a weapon that kills Homelander.
Yep.
We're opening a can of worms that we don't exactly know what we're getting into. So.
Yep. And I do think it needs to be more complex than ultimately a group of people getting together that are super powered and beating up Homelander, because
I agree.
We kind of got that with Stormfront. Stormfront was quite powerful, and we had our moment of like pinataing her back and forth at the end of last season and stuff. So I don't want to duplicate that sort of thing with Homelander, but I'm interested to see where it's going to go. That's for sure. So
yes.
All right. Well, that's been The Boys, season 3, episodes 1 and 2. Thank you very much for I Am Ramiro jumping into chat and contributing some there.
Check out The Boys.
Yeah, as
might
well
be
as
your cup of tea.
Francesco. He likes your name, so
yes, indeed. Glad I kept it.
Yeah. Next week might be talking Westworld. Yep. We'll see. So Westworld season 4. I'm going in with low expectations. Season 4 of Westworld just premiered on, I believe, Friday. So probably rotate weeks with shows here. So watch along with us if you would like. That'll make it more fun, and you can comment, all that sort of thing. Speaking of commenting, you should do so on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all those places. Let us know what you think of the show, our thoughts. If you have something else you want to discuss, or some interesting opinions of your own, let us hear them. Subscribe and like and share everywhere you can. We're on podcast directories, so take your favorite podcast directory, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, whatever, and subscribe, review there. That'd be much appreciated. We are at the behest of the algorithm. So like when the algorithm likes us, it shares our stuff, and we get more views. And otherwise, sometimes we don't get the algorithm, benefit, and so then we don't. So you can help by sharing the stuff yourself with your friends and family and stuff. So yeah, spam it to all your company. You work for Fortune 500. You just take a link to a video and you just email everyone. CC all.
It's the new Rick rolling.
Yeah. It starts with like a corporate presentation. It's like this week's financials, and then in the middle,
bam, just
where
us.
there we are. Yeah. So, Beast Enterprise. Oh, speaking of businesses, Fortune 500s, Beast Enterprises is saying hello to you, Andrea.
Well,
So,
hello.
first time.
How are you doing?
Thanks for popping in. We're wrapping up now. We just talked the boys. We're back next week to talk Westworld. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks, Andrea, for joining me once again.
Of course, as always. Cheers, everybody.